Hello, my paper peeps. Welcome to the ultimate guide on how to scrapbook journal. These are the rules, tools, and jewels that will allow you to create amazing keepsakes that you and your loved ones can enjoy for years to come. So let's get to the craft room. Scrapbooking and journaling are wonderful ways to preserve memories and express your creativity. A scrapbook journal is a combination of both, allowing you to showcase your memories with a personal touch. Here is your guide to creating the ultimate scrapbook journal. Number 1, gather your scrapbook materials. I know this sounds easy, but for a lot of people, it's not. To start your journey on scrapbook journaling, you will need a scrapbook journal. This can be anything from a 12 by 12 layout album, which you can add decorative paper to and then have areas where you can write. Or what I have gravitated to over the years are mini scrapbook journals, like these DIY journals, where I create to catalog my fondest memories. And I'll put a link to these in the description box below if you're interested in creating these. I recommend choosing a scrapbook journal with a distinct vibe, a color scheme or aesthetic that really speaks to you. Now, I'm not opposed to the 12 by 12 layout. However, from my experience, I have found that the large 12 by 12 space is quite overwhelming for someone like me who loves to embellish. I'm talking, I layer and I layer and I layer. And I find that sometimes the large space is too much to fill, especially if you like to embellish a lot. Now, the 12 by 12 layout has traditionally been one of the most beautiful ways to scrapbook. Many people love the larger layouts and are masters at this craft. I, however, have found that the smaller, compact ones have been kind of my go-to. It allows me to create a mini masterpiece that you start and finish within a specific time period. I enjoy creating mini journals for the seasons we're in. It could be an autumn theme where I create a journal that I craft and write in for, say, just autumn. And in this one, I'm actually facilitating a book study with several women, and I actually made the book, the journal, actually match the book that we're studying. So I'll add my notes, reflections from the book, and include any photos of that moment in time. Right now, I'm in the book Raising Amazing, which is a book on parenting. So I'll add recent photos of my kids in that journal. Essentially, I'm actually killing two birds with one stone. I'm scrapbooking and journaling in a 2 to 3 month period. Hence the term Scrap Joe. I guess that's what we do at Christine Emily Young. We Scrap Joe. Other materials you'll want to gather is adhesive, stickers, embellishments, pens, and a lot of the time I will choose pen colors that obviously match the journal because I'm so matchy-matchy. And you can add any other decorative materials you want to use. If you're anything like me, I like the vintage look. So I don't fuss too much with acid-free or archival quality materials. But if vintage is not your style, then I highly recommend using acid-free paper and adhesive to create your projects and preserve those memories for many, many years to come. Number 2, choose a theme. Like I mentioned earlier, decide on a theme for your scrapbook journal. It can be a specific event, like a trip. Here I scrapbook journaled on postcards that I found on a trip to San Diego. And I just found it so fitting to actually just add all these embellishments and mixed media and photos right to the back sides of these journal cards. If you haven't tried it yet, you got it. You have to try the postcard scrapbook journal. It's pretty fantastic. It can also be a year in review or a person-specific scrapbook journal, i.e. a baby scrapbook journal for just your daughter or for your son, or one for your friend or significant other. Or really, it could be a collection of your favorite memories. I believe having a theme will help you stay focused and organized. From experience, I found that if I didn't have a creative plan and just mindlessly slapped pieces of paper in a journal, I found I wouldn't complete the project because everything was like there was no organization to it. And because I wouldn't finish it, it wouldn't end up in my beautiful trunk of treasures like you see here, which one day I'm going to open up to you and show you all these beautiful DIY journals that I have created in the past. This is one of my favorites. If you travel a lot or have this need to stamp or lay down a photo on a daily or weekly basis, then scrapbook journaling in a day timer is an awesome way to preserve your memories. My nieces and even my friends call this, it's called Instagram. But if you're anything like me and you love to paper craft, then you know what? This is the journaling for you. I took a day timer, I think this was 2018, and journaled and cataloged in it all year round. It was mostly stamps, stencils, and photos with a very limited color scheme, which meant I could take it anywhere. I was taking it on trips with a very limited amount of scrapbooking materials. Heck, if you have downtime at work, or if you're at a soccer game or a hockey game and you really don't want to watch the hockey game. Your kid's hockey game, isn't that terrible? Okay, you know what? I'm not promoting not watching your kid's hockey game, but say you're somewhere and you just need to kill time and you don't want to be scrolling through Instagram or YouTube Shorts or TikTok. Then bringing something like this on your little getaway is a great way of cataloging your memories. Number 3, organize your photos. Before you start scrapbooking, organize your photos in a chronological order or by the event. This will make it easier to create your pages and tell a story with your photos. This is okay for the scrapbooker who is crafting a past event, but for the scrapbook journaler, we have a tendency to journal on a weekly basis. I'm talking like we'll journal and we want to lay down 2 or 3 photos right away. And so what I recommend and what I use is this system where you can print photos from your smartphone on a need-to-need basis. Here I use the Instax system, which I find is great for me. Or what I'll do is have designated spaces within my journal where I place photos at the end of my journey. And I'll usually go back to my photo library, pick out the 10 or 15 photos that relate to that moment in time, and then print them all out at once. And then finish off the journal that way. If you take a look at some of my paper lines, they actually have designated spaces within the journals to accommodate these photos. Number 4, plan your layout. Sketch out a rough draft of each page before you start gluing anything down. This will help you decide on the placement of your photos and embellishments. In my video, How to Embellish, I actually show you how I organize my scrapbook journals with ephemera, stamps, stencils, and mixed media, and other layout rules to help create a cohesive look throughout the journal. I'll put a link to that video right here if you're interested in the process I go through. That specific process allows you to create this journal pretty much in a day or 2 and gives you that creative freedom to add to it throughout the year in smaller doses of creative energy. And by that, I mean the journal's completed. So most of the year you're just journaling in it, but then you'll have this urge to maybe make a tag for it or an extra photo page. And that's where that minimal creative energy comes in, that you can just kind of go to your stash of stuff and pull something out that might match the journal. But all that stuff that you had used in the journal is no longer out anymore. Like that's done. And this idea of scrapbook journaling is for people who love to dabble or make other projects. So this journal sits on the corner of your desk that you're journaling, but then throughout the year you're making cards with different paper lines. You're making little mini journals for friends and family, and you're doing other crafting projects on the side. Number 5, get creative. Make sure you use that creative energy that you have to make each page special. And again, it's like I said, that's when those bouts of creative energy kind of pop out at you, and you're like, oh, I want to add pop-up butterflies to the inside of this one page. Or, I don't want to journal today. I just want to create a pocket here, or an art page. And you'll see in a lot of my paper lines, I do allow you to do that. So I have these little art pages that you can cut out, place ephemera in, or have these amazing 3D windows for you to craft in. So try different layouts and techniques to make your scrapbook journal visually appealing. For example, here I used the rule of thirds to create a journal page with scrapbook elements in it. Here I used mixed media to enhance a page and kind of give it that 3D look, or just some texture to it. Here I used washi tape to build out a layout. There are so many options out there for you to flex that creative muscle. So go ahead, make sure you don't limit yourself. But one of the rules I do recommend is just staying within a color scheme within that journal. And then you'll still have that cohesive look that we all love and enjoy. Number 6, don't forget to journal your memories. I know sometimes we get caught up in like all the bling of creating these art pages, and then we forget to kind of use the journal for what it was supposed to be used for, and that's creating your memories, or logging or cataloging your memories. So make sure you write down things like the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why of each photo. You can also include quotes, poems, or personal reflections. This is where I jazz up my journals. I love adding quotes and personal thoughts to my scrapbook journals. When I look back at just my scrapbooks that have just photos in them, there's nothing wrong with them, but I find that there's something missing. And I do believe a photo says 1,000 words, but sometimes you need a little bit more than that. And I found that once I had kids, it was more than just me leaving a book of photos for them. It was me injecting and intentionally leaving a legacy for them to kind of look back on, for them to reflect on, for them to say, okay, this was the direction my family wanted us to go. This was the direction that my parents wanted us to go. So there's photos, and then there's, for us, it's Bible quotes that help my children build a foundation of principles around. So yeah, like make sure that you inject some of those things into your photos. And like I said, especially your thoughts and feelings and really what you believe in. Like, what was mom all about? What was grandma all about? What was my aunt and uncle about? Once I had kids, I wanted them to remember the family for more than just what we did and what we looked like at that moment in time. I wanted to pass on more than a legacy of memories, but a legacy of principles and beliefs. I want them to be able to look back and say, you know what? That's what mom was all about at that moment in time. So go ahead, have fun with that creative process, but make sure that you inject some of those principles, some of those things that made you tick, and some of the things that you want to pass down to your family. Number 7, have fun. This is by far the most important thing you can do when you're scrapbook journaling. I know I talk about the potential of having rules, but there are no rules. When it comes to your scrapbook journal, you do you. And you create what speaks to you. There is beauty in everything that you create. It really doesn't matter. I know that some people will say, don't clutter your page too much, or have this minimalist look to it. In all honesty, your scrapbook journal is a reflection of you, and that's what it should be. And so there are no hard, fast rules. There are guides that will help you along the way, that will make you get from A to B if you're struggling in between. But aside from that, go to town. If you want to embellish, embellish. if you want minimalist, like straight lines, like horizontal lines here and that's it, and then it's just all journaling, then that's perfect too. In the end, have fun creating beautiful memories and keepsakes that you will enjoy and your loved ones will enjoy for years to come. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you like more tips and tricks on how to scrapbook journal, bullet journal, scrapbooking, then you know what? You might want to watch this video here or this video here. Until I see you in those videos, can you do me a favor? Make sure you get in that craft room. Nurture that soul, create for yourself, create for others, and enjoy the process. Bye.